Do you see here? Hi guys and gals. Well, I'm out geocaching. Yeah, and I can barely see the screen, but I know it's going. Okay, I'm just going to show you a little bit. Now, what does that look like? It looks like a squash car, doesn't it? Well, this is supposedly art, by the way. So it's a squashed or squished Jaguar. Okay. So, yeah, so here you have it. That's a Jaguar. And over here, it looks like it's a bunch of signposting. And it's all like different cantons and everything. And there's all the names. Like so, and it starts with Sur nos monts le soleil, en un sombrien se réveille. Now, that sounds like rubbish. But actually, now that is art. It's not rubbish, it's art. What it is, it's a play of words of the national hymn, Sur nos monts, it's Sur nos monts, quand le soleil, what is it? Sur nos monts, quand le soleil annonce un brillant réveil. That's the first two lines in the Swiss national anthem. Now, this is part of a geocache. Now, the Swiss Germans especially are pretty, I was going to say devious in their ways of making geocaches. Now, what was that car that was squashed in front of me? It was a Jaguar. Now, I knew that I had to find an animal. And once I found it, I had to take the letters, which Z equals 1, Z equals 1, up to A equals 26, make the sum of them, and add this sum to another number to find part of the coordinates. Okay, that was pretty easy. Jaguar backwards like that becomes 104, and we knew that what they call the quersum, which means 1 plus 0 plus 4, which is 5. So that was like the cross answer. You knew that if you had 104 and 5, you were probably on the right direction. Now, the second part was way more complicated. It was saying that you had the signposting, which I showed you. But this signposting, basically, you had to guess that it was a play of words of the national anthem. What we did know was that we had to replace letters. Use the replace letters with the same type of game, except this time it was A equals 1 onto Z equals 26. Find a number with that. We knew that the cross check was 12. Subtract that from another number, and then there was a geo-checker. Well, actually, the geo-checker, it ends up that there was a whole bunch of possibilities that gave 12. Anyway, it was complicated. Once, though, I've managed to figure it out, it was actually quite close to here, as they often are. So, yeah. So that was a cool little geocache. I'm going to walk on my way home. Let me see, try and get the less sun possible. Yeah, so what time is it? It is 20 to 1. So I was at church this morning, and I had tried yesterday quickly. I just didn't have the time to really figure the whole thing through. And I had found what supposedly, at least 2 supposed answers, but they didn't pass the geo-checker. Anyway, so from one thing to another, I did send a message to the owner of the cache to say, well, am I at least doing it right? And she answered, yeah, I was doing it right. And she gave me one little extra hint, which was actually, as very often is the case, somehow, you should follow your first instinct. And that's what my first instinct was to do what I finally did. I'm going to send off a message now that I found it. She's a nice lady. By the way, if any of you remember when I had my cache number 1000 and there was a couple that were waiting for me with a beer, well, it was them actually. So it's really cool. I mean, they're nice people. That is one of the things with I was going to say kind of social media, because geocaching up to a point almost gets you to a similar point as social media. There are private messaging and stuff like that. But, YouTube and Facebook and everything. But we get to meet either virtually or really some really nice people. So I'm walking along, actually back home, and it was interesting. Yesterday I was seeing in the paper that a while back I made a vlog about people saying that if you, depending on which language you're using, that you would have different responses. And I was going to say highly emotional, highly stressful situations. Well, somebody translated it and put it in an article, and comes out to be that they're bringing it in the article, so people are starting to talk about it here. So I mean, it was something that I saw a few weeks back. Maybe I should have the newspapers check my vlogs. It would help them. Oh, geez. If I was an American, I'd be so happy if those elections were over by now. Oh my goodness. I saw on, no, was it on Facebook or just by chance on YouTube? Because those sidebar things, where you're seeing Obama. It was last time, I think it was probably 2008, I suppose. Anyway, whatever. Where he was pretty well going on with the same sentences almost that Trump was saying about Clinton. More things go. I just wish it would be all bypass. And what would be really cool is if you could put a blank slate and start over with other people, because this is announcing actually a really, really hard 4 years coming. It doesn't matter which side of the divide you're going to be. It's not going to be a fun period. And I don't know for how long, much longer. Anyway, no, I'm still waiting. I'm changing subjects completely, because who wants to talk about those things too long, at least. I'm waiting to see what other people might come up with about that circle, which I say might be Wiccan. Call it Wiccan, pagan, or whatever. If it's Druid, it'll fall under the generalized pagan thing. But it is kind of fascinating, though, because the so-called entrance is on the east side, so of the rising sun. Gonna hurry up. Green light's flashing. Okay, yeah, and here comes somebody. I'm on the red light now. Okay, and he was not stopping. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it just happens too often, and then, every year, and then there's these signs. Somebody once, not too long ago, told me, it's probably the Boy Scouts. I don't think so. No, I don't think the Boy Scouts would go into that much detail. And anyway, if it was the Boy Scouts or the equivalent over here, they don't hide themselves in the senses. You would know it was them. Anyway, it's funny. It's funny at the same time. I would like to be a little bird in the middle of the night and see what's going on, but only as a little bird, not an interesting one for being a sacrifice or whatever. No, I wouldn't actually want to be there on my own, really. There's private things that go on like that, but you never quite know. I don't know. We have never heard, and if there of anything, weird of the sense of animal sacrifices or stuff like that, and you don't see any blood around there, so I don't believe there's anything of that going on. I think it's just you could almost say a mystic service or whatever you want to call it. I kind of wish that somebody would give me a little bit of an answer for it. I'm not trying to either denigrate or promote, just interest, because it means, that whatever this is, it's people have gone, so to say, underground to do it. Anyway, well, okay, I'm going to stop here, go home and have lunch. Mrs. DC's working; she'll be home later on, and at least, well, yeah, I got a geocache. Wasn't able to do much of that on the weekend, so yeah. Anything else? Well, there might be, but I'll stop here anyway. Okay, everybody, take care. Bye-bye. DC signing off. Bye.